Hi, welcome to session 3 of Against the Vampire Conspiracy, Ties of Blood. And I'm just going to jump straight back into the action where we were on a train. They'd convinced two Seward serum carrying mules to cooperate with them. And the private security force of Watchtower Consultancy, run by one old nemesis, Walt Longshore, was providing security. And the team is scattered across the nice train that they are on. And whatever was inside of the, Alan, your little map of the train appears to have disappeared. Oh, no, it hasn't. I see it's in other details. I apologize. Yeah. I had a panic moment there and I was like, crap, I was like, because I threw away my notes with that on because I saw you'd written it.
I thought we might just want to reprise all of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to, yeah. At the aft of the train, there was a shipping container carrying something that appears to have gotten loose and murdered two of the guards who were on it. Yelena, our Russian assassin, has and heir to the Van Helsing line, has engaged one of those undercover agents at the back, but he did pop some Seward serum and became a much harder target. But she was successfully knocked him out using the momentum of the train. So he is unconscious, undercover, and still hopped up on Seward serum back there. He may wake up if things get complicated. Further down the train, we have one Konstantyn, who roped in Mr. Longshore with a marketing survey, and then when Longshore got up from his seat, decided to tackle him, a move which has not gone well for Konstantyn so far.
I think Konstantyn is on the floor, bleeding from probably nose and mouth.
While a very limber and trained operative proceeds to dismantle him, I think, limb by limb in a second. And of course, his backup, the other undercover agent, is about to come back over. And then we have, in the restaurant cart, we have the Maycheks, the mules themselves, along with their savior, the journalist, Dylan Herbst. Or at least that's his cover at the moment, is pretending to be a journalist.
Yes, that is my cover. I am a journalist, Sebastian, I think, Novak or something like that. Florian Novak, right.
In a game where you may change your face like multiple times in a session, I probably won't get too bogged down in what you call yourself, because it'll just be, well, when we say Dylan, we mean Florian Kovac or whatever, right? But they're inside there, along with Mia and the last member of the security team, a southern gentleman named Dave, who is rather taken with Mia, is trying to work out how to well, no, the train's brakes have been hit, haven't they, by Mia, by Dylan, I think, the emergency brakes, one of the two. So Dave is currently trying to protect this undercover librarian, this hapless librarian who's taking the sleeper train across the Mongol steppes. And there is something crawling on the roof outside. So let's cut back to Konstantyn. Mr. Longshore goes, boom, pops you once more in the face, and then looks over his shoulder and tries to just leave you there on the floor. What do? You're muted.
I've just spent 1 point of intel to reduce my stress from 4 to 3, and I think that I am going to say something like, I could kill you. I could give you a heart attack.
He just looks at you and goes, man, all kinds of fucking crazies on this job. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a gun and he points it to your head. Jeff, go see what's going on with Dave. I got this. Let's cut over to Yelena.
I mean, poor Jeff, I guess, is getting a 9mm round in his brain pan right now.
Oh, that's Marty.
Oh, okay.
Jeff's the one who was about to go into the dining car and then saw Longshore get tackled by some scrawny Ethan Hawke lookalike.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not leaving a hostile behind me. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna shoot him on the ground. You're gonna cold-bloodedly kill.
absolutely.
Okay. I think you just do that. But that's why you're not going to be in, you take that moment, you take your gun out, you check the bullets, you shoot him, you're ready to go, right?
I mean, I already have the gun on my. I mean, the reason I don't get there in time is I'm 4 carriages behind everyone, right?
Okay. Yeah. But I
Like-
would have let you run up the thing to be in time if you had.
Sure, but I have the gun in my hand.
Yeah. Well, you have the
And
gun.
he's on the ground unconscious. So
I think after all of the mess of the train, the gun's probably somewhere on the floor of this carriage. But yeah, you definitely do the cool, cold assassination type. And part of me is like, shouldn't I make you roll for stress for cold-bloodedly killing someone? But it's not that kind of game, so you just do it.
And she's
poor
an
Marty.
assassin.
Yeah, poor Marty. He is gone. The gunshot rings out.
no, it doesn't.
Oh no, silenced, isn't it? Yeah, you have silence.
I mean, however, whatever reality we're playing in, where whatever silence means in this reality.
Okay. And he dies. And his eyes flare open for a second as he coughs blood out, and then he sinks back, and he's sort of like all the blood just starts to drip out of his mouth, and his eyes are bright red from the serum's effect. Do you just leave him?
I mean, I think if I want a reason to give you a good reason to delay myself, then it is because I'm checking him for any more sword serum.
Okay. I was also going to
one to
mention
hand.
that I believe you stashed a bag, right, somewhere in here, or Mia did.
Yeah, I have one at the end of the carriage, which would bring me from light to medium.
So that's there as well. If you want to, you can grab that as well while you're doing this. We can have that as a thing, and you can get the sword serum, which I will pop in. You get 1 dose of the sword serum from this, and I will pop that into the chat for what it does. Essentially, that opens up Harness the Dark to you, but limited to sort of feats of enhanced physical ability. It'll clear 1 harmful consequence, and your stress going up as it does in Harness the Dark is essentially the physical cost of the sword serum. I didn't feel like layering any extra complications onto that. Although who knows, if you do it in bright daylight, I'll probably throw some complications at you because that's how the serum works. But yeah, so yeah, you find 1 vial of it, and with a what's it called? Those delivery systems sort of attached to it as well, like the 1 contained unit. Konstantyn?
I can't bring myself to kill him. I just can't bring myself to kill him. So instead, I will waste stress. Making the light go out.
Ooh.
I want to cloak us in darkness.
Okay.
Do something else. So I haven't used it. I may have written it, but I've not used this rule much. So let me work my way through it. In the case so I mark stress and I roll without expertise. Oh gosh, something's happened to it. Oh, there we are. Sorry, the dice are shuffling about. It must be to do with the size of my window. So I will roll the gray dice. I will add the stress dice. And you can add, if you feel appropriate, any risk die, I suppose, if you want to let him have the shot go off in the dark.
I think there's a risk die, yeah. There is, and I'm going to do it in the same way as Confront the Darkness that would do. And so that means that there is a 1 risk die for them being you're in danger, and
Having a
risk,
gun.
yeah, and 1 risk die for the fact that you are outnumbered. There are 2 of them in here who will take you out. If you
Fine. So it's 2 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a 1 on my dice. 1 of those ones is on the stress dice, so my stress goes up by 1 automatically. They exceed it, so I am at risk of a harmful consequence. But I tell you what I'm going to do. Oh God, I can't. Oh no, I can't even mark my librarian expertise to improve that outcome. I am slightly screwed. I'm down to a D6 and how harmful the shots are going to go.
Let's find out how harmful the shot's going to go.
Shit. Right. Okay. Here we go. The
Not often
dice.
we get such failures in this game.
No, exactly. That is a 4. And they are contractors, aren't they?
They are, yes. So it's a flat die.
You were lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live. So I think as I roll to one side, it just grazes my upper arm. Well, that's bought a moment.
Well, the lights. No, the lights don't go out, do they?
No, they don't. No.
No.
I am just naked.
You go, I can stop your heart, don't make me do it. And he just rolls his eyes and
as I roll away. Yeah.
In the restaurant car, you guys do hear the loud noise because Longshore's men are not carrying silenced weapons because somebody needs to carry loud guns for it to be cool, I think. And in the restaurant car, you hear the tick, tick, tick. And Dave is looking up with his gun like he's in the driver's side door, and he's like, holy shit, it got out. And he looks at his 2 principals, the Maychecks, and he says, wait, who the fuck are you?
Are we close to each other? Because
you're like opposite ends of the carriage,
so
he's in the sort of like the restaurant to the driver's thing, and you're in kind of the restaurant carriage.
And he's asking me who the fuck I am, right?
Yeah.
I will look at him, and is he American? What is he? What nationality is he?
He's American.
He's American. So we'll talk to him in English. I will talk in a very broad American Southern accent so that the Magics hopefully won't understand what I'm saying, because they're Polish, right? And I will tell him, I'm your backup, because somebody thought that Longshore would fuck it up. So you take care of that, and I'm not to the thing outside, and I'll protect these.
Roll me persuasion.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see here just real quick where I'm at. Oh, I'm really not very stressed out, right? Am I? I'm not. Okay, so I'm rolling persuasion and I'm rolling expertise, I think. Do I want stress included? I think I do. I mean, there's a vampire thingy outside, right? So yeah, I've got a 6 on the stress dice, so stress goes up, but it's a 6.
Oh, it's a 6.
It's a 6.
So you persuade him.
And I get intel, right?
You mark intel.
Ooh.
And you discover something scary about the conspiracy. Roll for stress, and I think that will happen when the vampire arrives, perhaps.
I rolled a 6 on the stress die. I think my stress goes up.
Oh, your stress goes up automatically.
So...
Sorry, I forgot. Didn't realize it was the stress die that was the one that went up. So yeah, it does go up automatically. The extra benefit you'll get is that Dave is shit scared, and his boss isn't here, and there's a girl that he wants to protect, and his 2 principals, and he takes it. He takes his job seriously. He's not a, I think I work for vampires kind of guy. He is a, I am doing a job kind of guy. And so he is like, oh, thank Christ. So what do we do?
I think you should, well, okay, I need a bit of location here. Where's that thing? It's up on the roof, right?
It was.
It was. Where did it go? go
Good question.
this way or that way? So I'm
Mia.
asking him. Come
And I'm
on.
like, and he's like, shh, shh. And the Maycheks are whispering to each other, and he's like, shh, shh. And then he looks over at Mia. Mia, where are you stood in the carriage?
I am pretending to be petrified. I mean, I have my, I'm wearing like this kind of dowdy skirt, so you can't see that my legs are actually planted in something adjacent to a combat stance. But I'm just standing there in the middle of this aisle and saying, Dave, what got out?
That's what you ask as the skylight above you explodes into glass and a black shadow drops down and it raises it's just like in the middle. It seems much bigger than its proportions, but it is pale and it is wretched and it is just withered and blood smears all down its face. What do you do, Mia?
I'm going to immediately dodge. And I'm going to dive in the general direction of Dylan, because I know if I am diving toward Dylan and I am low, Dylan's going to shoot over me.
Nice. So would that be, so Alan, if you're doing things would that be a flee for your life, I guess? Or
Flee for your life takes you out of the scene. I don't
see.
think is doing that.
no?
I think this is rolling to do something else.
Okay, but do you ever have a
Or-
risk die on
well-
roll to do something
Well,
else?
no, actually, it's confront them. You're just hoping that your agility is going to get you out the way. So you would treat it as a confront them, but your outcome is avoid harm rather than kill it
Okay.
or harm it. Declare your outcome, avoid it. But then
I
the
see,
risk die
avoid
will tell
their
you-
attempt to hurt you. Yeah.
All right.
But the
So
risk die will tell you how successful you are.
in that case, may I add something else to this?
Yeah.
Just to make it a direct attack?
Sure.
I want to have some UV grenades, like the sorts I've cooked up in the past with me.
Some UV grenades. Okay. So we need to mark the safe house for tech equipment and explosives for that, or yeah. So we won't define the safe house, but we will say that whatever it was, you have tech equipment and explosives, which is what you've been able to bring onto there. And if you want to declare them.
So let's see.
And they'll take up the same amount as a grenade. You get
Yeah. So it's what, one slot?
one slot. You get two of them.
Do we know it's vulnerable to sunlight, just by the by?
I'm not sure. How often do you think? Well, I'm not sure. They are returning. It is a form of a returning supernatural antagonist.
Okay, no. Then if you want to tell me something about it, then I can fill it in on the Supernaturals tab.
So this appears to be a Eurogoth. That something has gone wrong with.
Eurogoth gone wrong. Okay.
Mhm.
So do you want to give me a compulsion, and a deterrent, and a vulnerability based on previous experience?
Sure. I'll give it the
Not my
compulsion.
experience, obviously, but I think Yelena has seen one of these.
Yeah, Yelena's definitely come across a Eurogoth before, I think. And I think Dylan and Mia have as well at one point.
If I recall
Perhaps.
correctly, we made fun of it.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I could pull up our last character keeper and see what was in that.
Yes. But I will give, well, Alan has access to I made a bestiary of every supernatural creature that's been encountered so that we have a list of like
We do.
parent stuff. But I did make the Eurogoths, they all have one floating slot in each section because the process isn't perfect,
It's not
right?
perfect.
I have to say, I do like that you specified that it is a Eurogoth vampire gone wrong, as if that could somehow go right.
Well, I mean, they are addicted to human. You know that they are addicted to human flesh. You know that they have sunlight, and I'll give you a power as well. They regenerate, and they have great strength and teeth and claws. Like that's the base template of a Eurogoth.
Yeah.
Every single one of them maybe. Eurogoth is a colloquial term that's used for them, coined by one Peter Skellen, I think, or somebody like that, Paul. But perhaps the conspiracy knows them by a more serious title than Eurogoth. And in fact, Dave screams out, "Oh fuck! It's the SBA!" But Puckett, would you like to roll?
Absolutely. So I'm rolling with expertise. I'll roll with stress, and this is explosives, correct?
Yes.
No.
No.
No, because it doesn't do explosive harm, does it?
No, it's just a UV.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to kill everybody on this carriage as well.
Right. Close quarters. All right. So I only get to roll 3 die. Darn. 3 dice.
3 dice, and you will be rolling 3 wrist dice as well.
Oh, okay. Let me roll.
However, the
those.
fact that it is sunlight will reduce one of those wrist dice, I believe, right?
The deterrent effect doesn't work until it goes off.
I see. So the next round you may have 1 less wrist die.
Yeah.
So I need to roll 3 risk die.
3 wrist die, yes.
Okay. There is a 5 on the first risk die and a 4 on the third.
And what did you get on your? Ooh, dear. That's not
My
going well,
highest
has
was
it?
on expertise, but this is my specialism.
It is.
So can I use that to crank that up to a 6?
Yes, you can crank that up to a 6, which will deal. You succeed brilliantly. What extra benefit would you like to have? Mark intel.
All right. So mark intel. Do I need to mark stress for marking my specialism?
Yes, I believe you do. Yes.
Okay. So the extra benefit that I would like to get is that because of this basically UV flashbang, the vampire will be blinded for how many turns do you think is fair?
Probably the next action, really, because
Okay.
they don't need their eyes to hunt.
Okay. Would it be fair to do extra harm to them?
Yes, it would be fair to do extra harm. So you'd
Well,
mark
then
2
let's do
stress
extra
rather
harm.
than 1.
Yeah.
And Alan, I see what you mean about the rules for weaponizing a vulnerability. I'm going to waive that in this instance because Mia has done this plenty of times before.
Fine.
But yeah, I do like
now,
those rules, though.
Next question is, since I marked stress to use the specialism, do I need to roll to mark stress? Okay.
No, because stress has already increased on that.
Okay. And then I will dive out of the way, having dropped those grenades right at the vampire's feet.
Yes, and now the 5 on the wrist die is no longer the highest die because you've bumped it up to 6.
The specialism changes the effect, not the die numbers. So you may want to think again.
Yeah, apart from we did it last time, but yeah.
Did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, for Yelena, just because we was going to kill him, kill Yelena otherwise. But I'm feeling crueler today, so yes, Bucket, roll for your risk die.
Okay. So next, that is a 6 on expertise.
Nice. You were lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live. And I think that's because this thing landed right on top of you, and then like it towers above you, and quicker than anyone can blink, it just like slams you up against the wall. And then that's when that grenade goes off at close range, right?
And there is a bonus on that 6.
Yes. Oh, there is. On a natural 6, you also mark intel again, Bucket.
Okay. And you know what? Just to kind of make this more thematically appropriate, if I'm taking stress from it falling on top of me and slamming me against a wall, do I just kind of, do the grenades kind of just like drop off my rig?
Oh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? If they drop off your rig and go off on the floor, saving you, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vampire did it harmed itself.
Yeah, and it hisses.
Played yourself. Yeah.
And then and in that bright light, the blinding white light of everything, when it flickers back again, the vampire is gone.
Aha.
Can I maybe shoot it before it's gone because I'm there and got my
No,
gun
because it's a
out, so-
supernatural creature.
Okay.
So what you do here along the roof, back
Okay.
again as it heads back down the train. What do you do,
Thank you,
Dylan?
guys. It's looking for simpler targets.
Right now, I am not inclined to follow it because I have to protect the two of our two targets, right? But let me figure this out where we are on the train right now, because Dylan would have a mental map of this. Is that thing going in the direction of Konstantyn and Yelena, or are they in different directions anyway? Okay.
No, it's heading back down towards the aft of the train, heading towards the others.
So it's going towards Yelena and Konstantyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame, really. I'm really sorry, but I mean, Yelena can take care of herself, right? And so can presumably Konstantyn. He's pretty, but I'll detach the car. I'll go after it slowly, and I'll try to detach decouple the cars from our train, because I figure it probably can't run as fast as the train.
Which is currently stopped.
Oh, it has stopped. All right, it stopped.
It's-
Okay. Damn, that was me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was wrong track.
You know,
Okay.
when I was like, the train's accelerating, I was like, "Ooh, will we have a fast-paced train adventure?" And someone hit the emergency brake. I'm like, "Nah, it's fine. We're just stranded in the
Okay.
middle of nowhere."
Yeah, okay.
What I love is that our only real driver is some distance away from the.
You know what? I think I'll still go and decouple it, because I figure the train will start sooner or later again, and it might be useful. Might not be. Who knows? But you know.
And Dave is like covering you, you know, like pistol, like blinking his
Great.
eyes, and he's like, "What?
Great. Very good.
What the hell was that? I mean, I can't see nothing."
Yeah, just keep your gun pointed over there, not over here, please, Dave. Dave, you're pointing at me.
Carol, you okay, Carol? That was Mia's fake
I
name.
think so.
Don't you worry, I got you. We're gonna make it.
And I don't know if Dylan can see this or not, but I roll my eyes.
Because he didn't see the grenade drop out of your thing. It just went very bright, very quickly, you know.
And I will say to you in your direction, don't worry, Carol. We guys got it. And wink at you, because you won't see it, but you will.
Ah, shit, I didn't mean it like that.
And I'll just stick out my tongue at Dylan.
And the Matrix are huddled, looking terrified. And you can see one of them edging towards the door. And we'll cut away then to, I think, Longshore has clipped Konstantyn, who's like scuttled underneath one of the train things, and then.
No, I think I've bought time to flee for my life.
Oh, that's a good point.
I want to
Yeah.
leave this scene.
Yeah, I think that the scream and the explosion of light coming from the carriage just further up distracts both of them enough for you to, as he like gun jams on his second shot, right? And he goes, "Oh, goddamn."
But before I do that, I'd like to seek relief from the horror, please.
Okay, how so?
I want to remember my early contact with Yelena.
Ooh.
I care least about her because in one of those early times when I was simply a non-player character consultant for the network of people confronting the conspiracy, I think that I came under some pressure from some bad guys, and Yelena my first contact with Yelena was her helping me out and criticizing the fact that I couldn't defend myself, which of course is exactly what is happening now. I am out of my league in terms of defending myself, and I know I could kill him, but I won't. And so, yeah, I will seek relief from the horror by revealing some of our history together. I will reduce stress by 1. Whew. And roll a d6. The stress dice, just because I hate it. Oh, 2 went. Sorry, it's just the stress die. They're both a 5.
Okay.
On a 5+. On a 4+, the other opera describes a different version of the event. They say why they are hurt by it, and they roll for stress, or mark their anchor by including their anchor in the recollection. Sorry, Donna, I should have checked.
So this is when I have a 1/3 chance of losing my character.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have done that to you, so I'm going to withdraw that. I should have
No,
checked
it's
your
okay.
stress.
It's okay.
Donna, are you okay with it?
I mean, I have a choice, right? I can mark my anchor.
Contact. Yeah.
Is
You're
that?
okay, yeah.
Am I reading that right? Is that my choice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have checked. I beg your pardon.
A 1/6 chance I probably would have taken, but the way you've written these rules, Alan, it's equal to or higher. It's just not on. So this would have been in Petch, Alan, or on the road somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. You tell me where if you want to.
I think maybe we. I think maybe Yelena was off the clock, so to speak, if any of our operators are ever off the clock, but and got an emergency call to help out Konstantyn, and she was actually waiting for her sister Maria for a city break, which is probably the first time in years that they had spent some quality time together. And then obviously Yelena had to call to cancel to save Konstantyn's ass.
And that's why you're pissed off at me. So I
mean, it's just an extra, right?
So you're going to mark your anchor, I'm guessing.
I'm gonna mark my anchor. If we were in a very dangerous situation, I might consider rolling for stress.
What's that? You'll need me to consult again for a GSV, of course. You paid so well last time. More blood. Okay, that's fine. No worries.
Okay, then that gives me a little bit of headroom.
As Konstantyn's mind flashes back to the last time he ran away from someone with a gun towards Yelena. Yeah.
Exactly. So I will roll without expertise because I have nothing like a physical expertise, but I'll include a stress die. This can't go wrong. Actually, that's pretty good. On a 4 to 5, you get away clean unless control chooses to suspend heat to maintain the pursuit and forces you to flee for your life again. Anyone for a chase down the train? But
I'm not going to spend the heat for that. I don't think it's all good.
Fine.
You scrap and Jeff goes to run after you, and Longshore just grabs him and goes like, "You don't matter."
Yeah, he's not worth it.
Yeah.
I forgot to mark heat when I rolled that pair of ones, so I've marked heat, which moves us into capture. Just for reference.
Nice. And I think that is when Jeff and Longshore make their way. Dylan, you are crouched over the the link between the two carts, which is in between the doors, of course, in the sort of airlock area, and you're fiddling with it. And it's not a roll to disconnect the train. It's just a little bit time consuming. You're not meant to do this at any point that's quick. There is no scenario in a normal running of a train where you need to quickly detach a carriage, and that's when the doors open, and Dave, And then the gun gets pushed out of the way, and Longshore pushes back him and goes like, "God damn, Dave, you're an idiot. And who the fuck are you?"
Oh, damn it. Oh, he doesn't recognize me, right? So I will.
Wait, don't I? Because last time you saw him, weren't you the train inspector?
Yeah, but
he
I had a
recognizes-
mustache then. I had a
Yeah,
mustache then.
yeah.
And
So he recognizes you as
and my,
Dylan.
my disguise was at the 6. So yeah,
Yes.
he does not recognize me there.
But-
I don't
but
know
what
if
I
he
mean is that
recognizes
he's
me
got
here.
Two sets of Dylan's alter
Mhm,
egos to
yeah.
now kind
Yeah,
of like.
well, okay, I need to talk my way out of this, or fast talk until Mia can shoot him, I guess. So I will start saying that.
Maintain your cover.
Yes, I will just go on with the story that, yeah, I've been sent by headquarters because they were sure you would fuck it up again, Longshore, and of course you have. Apparently it's quite clear. This will have consequences, so maintain my cover. That is I roll with expertise, right? Yeah, and I'll include the stress die because I mean, I'm not
Listen, the
stressed
only way
right now.
that thing could have got out is if someone messed with the security systems on this train.
I rolled a 6 though. Not even on the thing die. I have to roll for a stress. If stress goes up, and I will do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, no, it's a 1. My stress is I'm ice cold, and
Okay.
I've got a 6. And I've got so I'm adding intel. Oh my gosh, I'm filled with intel right now.
And just for scene painting, right? Like in the other carriages of this train, you have people in the sleeper carts who are sort of like blearily getting out the doors, and then they hear the gunshots and they scream and go back inside and hide themselves. Yelena's maybe pushing away through some of those people as they stand confused in the aisles. But up here, you're sort of on your own. And yeah, I guess that stress roll was the, oh shit, maybe we were the ones who let this thing loose, and that driver maybe wasn't part of the conspiracy, at least, you know. But cool. So another 6. So you get another intel, and on maintain your cover, do you get any? You get a additional benefit, and I think that benefit is that Longshore is as convinced as Dave is that you are on his thingy, even if he's not. Dave is subservient. Longshore is a bit of a, you know, ego himself.
But that is just the effect of maintain your cover, right? That is not a 6, is an extra benefit. An extra benefit can be the same thing as
no, because I think that your cover is that you're a journalist.
Oh, okay.
Right. So your cover is that you're not an operator who's out against these people, right? So a normal success would have been,
okay,
I don't know what your deal is, but you're not a threat. Whereas this is you're an ally kind of thing.
I'm not just an ally. I'm sort of an auditor, right? And he needs to impress me.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Yeah. You're someone that he needs to at least pay lip service to the idea of inspecting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. And he goes, well, I'm glad you're here. Have you got any? You packing?
Of course I am. You're
Good.
kidding me. I mean, I've drawn my gun. When that thing showed up, I had drawn my gun. I've got it in my hand. Look, you take care of that thing you let loose. I'll take care of these 2.
No. My orders are to keep an eye on these 2. I thought.
Yeah. Well, you've let this thing out. Put it back in the box.
Listen, somebody on this train. Those are the people who came after us in Germany, you know, back when I was working for the other side.
Then go and take care of these people. You clearly haven't got anything under control. I'm not leaving these 2 with you.
Yeah, you're right. You. And he points at Mia. Who the fuck are you? And Dave's like, hey man, he's just. Shut up, Dave. Who the fuck are you, and what are you doing on my train?
My name's Carol. I'm a librarian.
And
what the fuck is that on the ground?
I'm stepping away there and saying, hey, look, this does not concern you. What concerns you right now is what you let out of the box, and maybe these agents from Germany. Leave the rest to me, okay? Now get the fuck out of here and take care of your own problems.
Then try and persuade him. And I think that his expertise here is going to cancel out that persuasion, because he is a suspicious bastard. And telling him not to, you just told him to go find the people who sabotage the train.
Yeah.
And then you interrupted him doing that because you have a conscience, perhaps, which is not in keeping with Longshaw's experience.
No, but he's getting distracted by whoever that is.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'm just keeping a secret. So I'm rolling not with expertise, but I can roll with stress and the gray die, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I will do that. Oh, wow, that's a terrible roll. Does my false face help me here? Because he thinks I'm pretending someone I'm not.
Yeah, it'd
right?
allow you to use that to be your
Cool.
expertise if you wanted to.
Then I will spend the stress and bump that up to a 4 to 5, so it's at least a success because I've rolled 2 2s.
And he looks at this rigged together UV grenade and he tosses it at you and he goes like, you work out what the fuck this is then.
Mhm.
Dave, you're their backup, all right? Come on, Jeff. And he goes down the corridor. He turns away from you. Suspicious look over his shoulder as he goes. Yelena, you're pushing your way up the carriage, right? Like retrieved your whatever's in your medium
Yeah.
thing.
So I guess the backpack is on me, and I maybe have the pistol down by my thigh just to kind of hide it from casual glances. And then maybe just, you know, giving people stern orders in Russian to get back into their carriages.
What's going? Yeah. And that's when someone in a train service uniform runs like in a panic right at you, blood coat in their collar, and just brushed, like, you know, just stumbles right through you, and like looking over their shoulder wildly, and in the carriage in front of you, the lights flicker. Konstantyn, you're running. You run into a dark carriage.
Yeah, I'm running towards the dark. Never
Yeah.
run into the dark. Never run into the dark.
So, you know, for the positioning of the train, you both are now somewhere in between the restaurant and the aft, but like you're both approaching that middle carriage from either end, right? And I think Konstantyn's headlong rush will take him into it before he gets a chance to stop.
I'll ask this time before I do it. How does Dylan feel about me seeking relief from the horror by remembering something about Dylan?
All right ahead, I've got enough intel to reduce my stress.
I
so,
was hoping you would say that.
yeah, I will do that. You know what? I will just do that because I don't need more. I don't need all that intel. I need less stress.
The first time I came across Dylan, I didn't even know it was Dylan. And it's just one of those occasions when somebody came to pick up some information that I'd been looking up. Do you want to tell me, Sabine, what Dylan was like when he arrived? Who was he disguised as, or what was he disguised as?
I think at that point in time, he was disguised as, you're a librarian, right? So I think he was disguised as a sort of, yeah, as a student, but of the kind of a chat student, right? Like entitled, rich. He was like it seemed a little drunk, a little tipsy, and seemed like somebody just had paid him some money and sent him to get this info, and he was like, hey, I need to get this intel, and I'm really drunk, and why are you waving so hard? Stuff like that.
And then, you know, there's that transition from the disguise to the operator. And I hand over the stuff. And then, you know, that scene in one of the Sherlock Holmes movies where Holmes just moves through the room, picking stuff up. Dylan leaves looking entirely different.
Sorry, I totally froze in the middle of, you know, that scene where the Sherlock Holmes, and then I froze and didn't get the rest of it. I'm sorry.
It's the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, where he just disguises himself just by picking up apparently random items as he moves through a room, as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of goes out of a window as an entirely different person. Mm-hmm. And you know, and Konstantyn is just kind of, how did they do that? So I will reduce my stress by 1, which will be a vast relief. And I will roll a d6 for consequences. Okay, so that's a 2. Say why you feel bad about the event you're remembering. You cannot use your expertise until stress goes up again, or mark your anchor. I think that historians of the occult and maths professors are both getting calls from a particular think tank. So I will mark Mikhail Obramov, as I then remember telling him this and him saying, "Don't be silly, my boy. What you're describing is just not possible."
Yeah. And so I'm imagining this one is more like one of those sleeper like it has like a corridor and then like bedrooms kind of like berths on it, and one of those doors is like open
Or swinging back and forth. Oh
and
no,
inside,
we're not moving anymore, but still.
Yeah, no, it's an automatic door, it's like a slide door. So it just keeps, and it keeps trying to close. And you suddenly stop, Konstantyn, and you see that the door won't stop because there's a hand that's just sort of like sticking out the door, and you hear awful wet noises coming from inside the cabin, and something is hunched over whatever's in there, and it draws itself up. Now, Konstantyn, you've never seen a vampire before.
I have never seen a vampire.
So let's roll for stress.
Why shouldn't we do that? And the irony is that if I hadn't improved my stress position, it would not just have gone up. So it goes up to 4, still a bit of headroom. And I think that I've paid my penance of getting shot at. So I think I fulfilled my mentor conversation about, don't do anything stupid. And I think the look on Konstantyn's face is one of complete horror, and then enlightened curiosity as I stand and watch it feed.
Ooh. Would you like to spend an intel to bring it up? Do you have any intel?
If only I had some intel.
I tell you what, you could roll and investigate something if you wish.
Oh, I could, couldn't I? I could. Well remembered. I would like to investigate using law. And I'm going to leave the stress die out on this occasion. That is a 5.
5. So what you observe from this creature is that it is ravenous. It is hungry, and it needs the flesh to, like it's burned across its face, like it's got some hideous kind of like 3rd-degree burns. Sunlight appears to be extremely effective against this creature, which, I can retrospectively justify the fact that I gave you extreme deterrence, extreme weaponized vulnerability, when I should have just left that blank, I think. And you can also observe that it doesn't appear to not be, like it's not just feeding on the blood, but it is feeding on the flesh. It doesn't appear to be working. Like it doesn't appear to be getting less hungry. It is gnawing right down, like worrying it like an animal to the bone. It is just going down there.
So is it? I mean, I've just sketched into the supernatural, needs flesh to regenerate. So everything it's consuming is going in to try to improve itself, or is it not improving those burns?
It just doesn't appear to be getting any less hungry.
Wow.
And at the moment, it's not improving those burns. Maybe in time it would, but it just seems to be overly hungry. And the last thing that you notice is that the body that it is dismembering, right? Like there is just it is ripped off like pretty much half the torso. Its face is buried into its like upper chest, just, burrowing away in there. And the eyes of the dead body roll open. And if it could move, if it wasn't like mostly dismembered, you get the impression it would be moving.
Oh my God.
Yelena.
Yeah, I think it's time I put a stop to this nonsense. I mean, I would probably do something like verbally abuse Konstantyn now to relieve my stress, except that would on a good roll that would push him over the edge. So I will not return the favor.
Hey, we can always mark his anchor as taken, as we just saw.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think maybe fictionally speaking, I am verbally abusing Konstantyn, but
not so excessively as to engage the mechanic.
But not as excessively
fair
as
enough,
to
fair
engage
enough.
the move.
Fair enough.
So it's the way I understood the kind of scene where the arm of its victim is blocking the doors, that it's at the other end, or is it at my end of the carriage?
It's in a a sleeper room, like off the side of this corridor.
Okay.
And Konstantyn is sort of like, he was running and then slowed to a halt and noticed this middle room where the creature is feeding upon and appears. Its victims appear to, Konstantyn's eyes seem to be locked on the open eyes and the moving mouth of the dead body.
And I think probably over the comms, kind of saying, it's feeding on, it should be dead. The victim, it's still alive. It's alive.
And as Yelena walks calmly, or maybe like walks hurriedly down the corridor, whispering to herself, "Undead vampires, they're alive. Well, let's leave the ivory tower discussion of the academics of this for another day," and reaches in under her jacket and pulls out a pair of grenades, which will be chucked forthwith into the sleeper carriage or sleeper room.
Okay. Roll confront then. You get your heavy, you get your deadly. And one risk die is taken off because it is still burned and sluggish from the energy, the energy expended to get back here. So it's only 2 risk die here.
Okay. That is a 6 on my standard die, and no, the highest risk die is a 4.
The highest die is a 4.
No, my highest die is 6, and the highest risk is a 4.
Sweet. Well, then you succeed brilliantly. What would you like to succeed brilliantly at?
I mean, I'm not sure how much stress this thing has left, but I would like to
do more stress.
Yeah.
Okay. And given that it was already injured by sunlight, this is enough to, that whole side of that train is just gonna.
So I guess I get an intel, and I'm gonna immediately use that to mark down my stress before I roll a stress die to see what happens. So I think this is like, yeah, see, grenades, always the best option, Konstantyn. Next time, we got to get some incendiaries.
This is an opportunity to test a rule that rarely gets tested, is what happens when an operator is attacked unknowing. Because I could be caught in the blast. So the way that works is I roll the grey die because I have no expertise that would be relevant in this. And then however many risk die that grenade constitutes. So 1, because it's dangerous, 2, because it's a heavy weapon, an explosive, and I should therefore roll that die and see whether I jump out of the blast coming out that door quick enough.
Well, I mean, I think, Alan, I mean, it should have been pretty obvious. And when Yelena pulls out the grenade, maybe she like tells you to step back, but you're still maybe a little bit enthralled by this vicious vista in front of you, right?
Well, I am about to take a harmful consequence because I rolled a 1 again.
Nice. Well, roll for the harmful consequence. Because let's also not forget that you are in a train carriage. And
Exactly.
you know, my vague understanding of explosives, it's a bad idea setting them off in confined spaces.
1 to 3. It's painful. You cannot use your expertise till stress goes up again.
Yeah. So Yelena, you told
Splinters.
him to run, and you realise that he just ducked.
Whereas Yelena knows how these compartments are constructed, and went to a structural member and used that as cover.
Well, I think we figured out why my stress just went up then.
Mm.
It's not worrying about the conspiracy. It's like, I have to save your ass again, Konstantyn, huh?
It's becoming a habit, isn't it?
And of course, that's the great, as the smoke clears, you see two figures moving down the carriage towards you, wreathed in the, like moving through the debris. It's Longshore and Jeff, who have just been sent down here to secure the special biological asset. And up in the carriage, Dylan.
We take a break, maybe?
Oh yes, good point. Sorry, time's flown by. Let's take a break. 5 minutes work for everyone? Mm-hmm. Cool. So it's blown up. The two figures come through the smoke towards as Yelena picks Konstantyn's battered and bruised body up off the floor. Cut back to the near the driver's side in the restaurant car. You're detaching the train carriage, right, Dylan? You've detached it now, I think we can say.
Yeah, we can say, but the thing is that maybe we should get off the train, right? And you know what? I haven't used a contact of mine in a while. I have a smuggler. So I know Yelena called for, I think it was Yelena, right? Called for air support to fly us out. But as my old first instructor said, never trust a Russian.
Well, I don't think that anyone's called in for anything as of yet.
Oh,
I think that was
okay.
just a suggestion of Alan's to say.
Okay. Then I can just call in support to get us out. Because as I said, I have Leona Miller, who's a smuggler, and I think a smuggler would be pretty well set to have some free floating cars or motorcycles or something that can be near the train or follow the train to pick us up if we need it. Right?
You define what, if we leave it vague, I'll have to come up with something. And then if you want to have a specific thing, let's say it now, because it can be coming now,
Okay, I think what I want is for, let's say, some trucks that have trailed the train and that we can call to pick us up.
On a, like you, as Dave's like, panicking next to you, you lean out the thing and you can see like up on a ridge, like where there's this one lone road that's sort of cutting through this absent wilderness. There's a pair of headlights and they go off road and they start chugging towards the train. And you know that that's your smuggler friend coming with the vehicle.
So I will tell Dave, okay, my support is here, we're going. Bring Carol. She's seen too much.
Oh shit, I'm real sorry about this, Carol, but he like half-heartedly points the gun at you, like, please come along now.
Am I being kidnapped?
I mean, no, I'm just taking you to safety. I promise nothing bad's gonna happen to you.
You don't have to point a gun at me. I'll go to safety. I like safety.
Good. And you two, and he points at the Matrix. Or like, he said you'd kill us.
I'm taking care of the Matrix, so I'll. He can talk to Carol while I'll talk to them, and I'll say, okay, you have to come with us now. We're getting you out of here. They think I'm one of them. I'm not, but just go along with it.
That's when Mrs. Matrix points over your shoulder and screams as what looks like the driver with half of his throat torn away, like staggers through the driver door. His eyes glowing red, looking hungry.
Oh, see, incentive. Run, I tell them, Matrix.
Dave starts firing, but he, hits him straight in the center mass. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Well,
the Matrix will run.
Okay, I will tell Dave and Carol run, and I will follow because my bullets from my gun won't do much more. So yeah, any of the light grenades lying around, because I think we lost them.
In fact, Mr. Longshore threw the grenade at you because he was just like, well, you deal with
Oh.
the shit then.
Okay, good. I will then, I think in the chaos, maybe I'll pass it to Mia because she's better at this thing than me, right? These are hers. And I think since everybody's scrambling off the train car, I feel that we can make this exchange happen.
Yeah, I just think that the monster is going to catch up with somebody if you try and do something, because you have the grenade. If you're going to, I'm not, to be honest, beyond giving a spotlight moment to Mia, I'm not sure why you're giving this grenade to Mia. We can always have Mia be the one who picks it up off the ground. If that's what if you want me to do the attack, yeah.
I mean, I can throw it up if you think that makes more sense. I'll just throw the
It's
grenade.
just that mechanically speaking, you both have exactly the same die when it comes to throwing grenades. Mia's just better at making them. Yeah,
okay. Then I'll just throw the grenade at the thing and yell at everyone to run.
Okay.
And yeah, I hope the grenade does the thing.
Roll me the wrist die.
Okay. I lost connection to the game server. I have to reload it. Give me a second.
While that's going on, I will use one of my intel to review what I know and reduce my stress by 1.
Okay.
So I'm rolling with the gray die and my stress die.
And you are rolling 2 risk die.
And I'm rolling 2 risk die. Okay, fine. Okay, I've rolled a 4 on the expertise and I've rolled 2 4s on the risk dice.
Okay. Does that mean that she rolls for a consequence, Alan? If it's
equal to or higher than, I'm afraid, yes.
Equal to or higher than, yeah. And I think that, is you saw what happened with the vampire that was the artificial vampire. It was, it was driven off entirely by it. It screamed in horror and pain. This thing, like its skin burns and it hisses, but it doesn't seem to feel the pain. And it just, like, as your eyes blink, you just see like that hand.
I've rolled a 6 on the thing die.
So
that's good. Is that good?
That is good. We were lucky this time. It hurts. You mark intel as you discover something about the conspiracy.
Ooh, nice.
And what you discover about the conspiracy is that this vampire appears to be rabidly infectious. Whatever it kills gets up and kills, which is not common standard for.
Okay. Also, this the original one. Is this as infectious as well, or I probably don't know, right?
Who knows?
Who knows? But still,
that's the sort of thing that you need to find spend a intel to find out, really. But in the course of the game, we have defined that the thing on the train, one of its powers was infectious. But it's dead now.
Which is such a power that I didn't put in the game, but I should have.
Well, I was like, well, how do I make this train more interesting? Oh, everything it kills gets up and kills. Yeah.
Hey, but the grenade, it hurt it, right?
The grenade has hurt it, but in this sense, the grenade has acted more like a deterrent rather than actually taking out its stress box, because it's a UV grenade. It doesn't actually do physical force damage, but they are vampiric zombies, so they are affected by sunlight to some degree. Just doesn't kill them. Yeah, you guys, Dave grabs Carol and pushes the Matrix ahead of him and pulls him off, and the train lights up in light, and he turns around. And Carol, what are you doing? Mia, I mean, of course.
I am, and no, it's okay. I remember Carol. I am running and I'm acting helpless, but I'm making sure that I'm ready in case Dylan needs any kind of backup.
Those are 2 different diametrically opposed results, because Dylan is what you are, is in the place that you are running from.
Oh, Dylan is following. He's not throwing the grenade and stands there like looking at that thing. He's following. He's not.
Oh, you were
he's not
following
just-
until the zombie grabbed hold of you.
Oh, it had grabbed hold of me.
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
flee for your life roll to get for a
Okay.
runaway.
Yeah.
Which I will then come to if Mia, you know,
Okay. Dave has his gun out, right?
Dave has his gun out, yeah. And he's like, come on, we gotta get, you don't want to be around any of these things.
No, but look,
They'll be fine. Don't worry about him.
and at this point, I'm going to grab Dave like I'm panicking and spin Dave around and actually fire Dave's gun at the zombie that's attacking Dylan.
Okay. Roll, I think this is a confront again.
Okay.
And, you know, the level of the risk will, the risk die may, level of the result may see whether or not Dave is the one who takes the fall for this.
There's all sorts of ways you can play this. It's like you have to
Yeah.
persuade to continue seeming incompetent at this, or
I mean, I don't see any of your expertise particularly coming up here, do you?
besides being an operator.
That's just, that's why you get the gray die.
Okay. So I am adding the stress die.
And I think there's the way you framed it. You have expertise in, you have expertise in hand to hand, in small arms. I'll allow it to stretch to the small arm that's in somebody else's large arms.
All right. So I will
particularly
add the expertise
because
die.
The supernatural stuff won't be cancelling out the expertise die.
Yeah. And I'm aiming for the head, because obviously the chest didn't do a damn thing. So let's see what we got here.
Would you like to spend an intel to define a vulnerability of the vampiric zombie as a headshot?
Considering how much intel I have, yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So, which we discover as you shoot them in the head, I imagine.
And
Right?
I hit 5 on the stress die.
Nice. Dylan, you know, hand under its jaw, and then poof.
And then roll for stress.
Roll for stress. Yeah.
All right. And stress is 3, and my stress is currently 3. So does it go up? It's equal
No,
to,
it doesn't.
or-
Has to be higher than on that roll.
Okay.
Not equal to.
All right. So, you know, I'm totally chill about this.
Mm-hmm. Dave's just like in awe, you know, like, and maybe on some level, he's digging it, you know.
I do believe I shot that thing in the head.
And he's like, wow, we shot that thing in the head.
Dave,
You did it.
I was just pointing.
And he goes to kiss you.
Oh, what the fuck? I'll let it happen.
Yes, we cut away on the embrace, right? As Dylan like pushes this rotting body off him, and then
Okay, sure thing, if she digs that.
Yelena, Konstantyn, the smoke's clearing, Longshore's like moving up the corridor, like clear.
So of the way you described it, right? We saw them come in, even though maybe they're backlit.
Yeah, they're back. Yeah, because you've blown
Okay.
out all of the lights in this.
Yeah.
You know, the whole wall of that train carriage that you're on is now just like shrapnel, you know. And there is Konstantyn. There is half of a head lying on the ground next to you. And one of the eyes looks at yours.
Enough of this.
So, I mean, I would like to try blending into the crowd to get out of their line of sight and then like making an exit.
Oh yeah, there are panicked people.
Yeah.
That explosion was enough for them to not stay shelter in place anymore.
Yeah.
There are panicked people. So if you just back onto the, you know, if you just scramble into the next carriage along, you can easily
Yeah.
blend in with the panicked passengers, like crouch down underneath the things, and you know.
So yeah, I grab Konstantin by the arm, or by the scruff of the neck. maybe that's the dynamic we have now. And turn tail and run.
Flee for your life.
Yeah. So I guess I'm rolling 1 die plus maybe tradecraft. If
Yeah,
I'm blending into the crowd.
yeah, I'd allow that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's my luck back.
Is that an ironic one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
That
One and
doesn't
a two.
that just for reference doesn't that just into attack in terms of the heat.
It does. Ditches you all the way into attack.
I'm just curious who exactly is behind those headlights now.
So
Choose
you
to
had the
either
layers.
get caught or agree with control who or what gets left behind. Sorry, Konstantin.
Exactly.
No.
No, I think that is perfect. You know, you grab my coat and you pull it off, you know, because I was partly blown out of it by that grenade blast. And I'm left on my hands and knees with this head in front of me.
And
I mean, I'm happy to stick around and shoot it out or talk it out.
No, you should do what you were doing.
yeah, I like it. Yelena's cool, competent, and practiced, and expects Konstantin to be just behind her, right? Like, because you said to him, you know,
Believe
stay
it.
close. Like, you gave the hand signal and everything, and Konstantin was too busy looking over his shoulder. So Yelena can slip off the train, and join the group as these headlights come towards. Konstantin,
Where is Longshore and Jeff?
they have seen the bloody thing on the you know, like the smear across the wall
Are there innocent bystanders between me and
around
them?
you. Yeah, there are. Yeah.
I think they have pushed Konstantin too far. And he picks up the head and hurls it at Longshore, shouted by the hair, and flings it at Longshore, saying, "Get away from me!"
Okay.
And I would like to harness the dark
Okay.
to banish them from this space,
Okay.
whatever form you want to take that. So I will mark stress. Ooh, walking the bloody edge again. I am not going near that stress dice. I would like to verbally abuse Longshore as I am flinging the head at him.
I think you're gonna give a shit about being
But it's whether I enjoy it.
Okay.
I want to seek relief from the horror by abusing an NPC.
I mean, I was wondering if maybe what's it called? You know, like the abuse could be wrapped up with the magic that you're doing, right? Like something that you're uncomfortable with doing. Like
I am uncomfortable doing it. As long as I get a stress back,
Oh,
and
yeah,
give myself
yeah,
a bit of
yeah.
headroom, I'll be fine.
just because I think that the verbally, oh, you know what, just do the verbally abusing them. You know, you scream at them and you say like, I am better than this. Don't you know my degrees? Yeah.
And I will roll the stress dice for a 4. Mark heat and agree with control how this draws the conspiracy's attention to the team. Well, I don't think that's a problem because the stress track is full.
Oh, wow. Your stress track is full.
No, sorry.
The heat track is full.
The heat track is full. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. That's it. So I will now use the stress dice because I have
Okay.
nothing to lose. And I roll a 6, not on the stress dice.
Nice. So what is the extra benefit you would like to what was the extra what did you roll on the seek relief? Sorry, you rolled
I rolled a 4, so
you rolled a 4.
so heat went up by 1,
You went,
but I've
sorry,
got
yeah,
nowhere to
yeah,
put
yeah,
it.
yeah. Sorry, it's just been so long since we've done it against an NPC. It completely slipped my mind how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. So what's the extra benefit you get from?
I think that this works just like rolling to do something else. So I mark intel because I discover something about the darkness, I suppose. And I am going to have to roll for stress. But I want the darkness that the head contains to simply expand and consume them both and banish them.
Oh, just remove them entirely. Yeah. The head, you know, you fling it towards them, and he puts up his hand and it just stops in midair in front of them, and they stop, and everything is frozen for a second. And you just hear, and you feel a presence over your shoulder, and you hear, yes.
And that's enough to make me roll for stress.
Yeah.
A 1. I don't care.
And they're gone. And their head's gone as well.
Good.
And everybody's just, what happened? You know?
Let's hope no one puts that on YouTube.
And you stagger out of the train as the headlights are approaching. And I've just got so much heat, guys, so I have to do this. Your truck's arrived, and you can see that in the back of it are several quad bikes. And your smuggler friend gets out. Dylan. What are they called? Leona Mueller. Yeah. And she moves rigidly towards, like, her hand raised. And the gun at her waist begins to raise as she goes, "For the master."
Ooh. Okay. Thanks, I hate it.
Yes.
Cool.
Mia, Dylan, what are you guys gonna do?
So one of the Masics is raising a gun.
The woman who, the smuggler who is here to rescue you, appears to be under some sort of compulsion because she has been blown by my rapid accumulation of heat this session. And vampires have mind control powers. In fact, I was reading through some of the Dracula stuff and I was like, that's actually Dracula's main jam is mind control. We do the superhuman stuff because of Buffy, but the mesmerism is his big thing.
Well, Sabine, it's Dylan's contact. How do you want to do this?
I mean, she's a contact, right? She's not a close friend or anything. So thing is here, I don't think I'm not sure about the whole mind control thing, but she's pointing a gun at me and at you and at Dave. Right. Well, yeah. Anyway. So I am. Oh, oopsie.
We lost Donna.
We lost Pocket. We lost.
No, we lost Donna.
We lost Donna. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. No,
I'm still here.
Okay, good.
It's like, wait, you lost me? I can hear you.
I will then, of course, I will move maybe a little to cover Mia, not the magics, I'm sorry. I have my priorities here, and I will go, I will shoot her. I mean, she has a gun and she points it at me. I don't like that. Nobody points guns at me and I say, for the master, come on. Since when she a goth, right? No, I will just, I've had it this day. I just want to get out of here. This train gets on my nerves, the magic gets on my nerves. And is Mia still kissing Dave, or have they stopped?
Well, it was more that Dave was kissing Mia and she's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Dave, by the way, flung himself in front of Mia to stop her from being shot by the
things that woman will do for her cover.
Yeah,
I like him. For that, I like him. Still I'll shoot Leona, not Dave. So.
Okay. Just roll to confront them. 1 wrist die. Hand-to-hand expertise. No, nothing to cancel it out.
Hand-to-hand expertise, and what did you?
So just there's just one wrist die.
One risk die, and I can use hand-to-hand expertise.
Yeah, or small arms
Okay.
even. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so one risk die. I'm using that one. So what do you roll? Oh, it's a 6 on the stress die, but all of the die are higher than the risk die. 6 on the stress die means my stress goes up, right?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
You mark another intel.
Yep.
Uh,
right.
You know, you've learned that vampires, because you know you plug her, and you know she screams and goes down, and you know, on the 6, do you want her to be alive?
Hmm?
Do you want her to be
Do I
alive?
want her to be alive? No, not particularly, actually.
Or
I-
shocked out of her mesmerism by being shot.
Well, that's what I was. But I mean, no. If you don't care, if you don't want it, then she goes down and she.
You know, Dylan is not. He's not gonna risk the mission or Mia or his life. She's just a smuggler.
And you walk past her and you see those scars, the marks on her neck, and she coughs, and she raises one hand as you go past, and she says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, Dylan will say, so am I.
And you guys can get on board the truck as we, you know, and you head off. And Dave looks. Dave is about to look out the back window when Longshore and Jeff come running out the train, like after you guys, and then, you know,
Carol, distract him.
Carol can just pull him back in a second with no kind of hesitation, and he will be completely distracted. And so, you guys have made it. I'm just going to check the chat to see if there's anything from Donna, but my Slack has crashed apparently.
Give me a second. I think I have Slack up still.
Yeah, I sent him a message. saying-
Donna's waiting for his router.
Ah.
Cool. So I feel like we can probably wait for Donna to do the debrief and
Yeah.
things. You guys have
Maybe
made it out.
break early.
Yeah, if we break early, shall we? If that's okay, and then we'll run through the debrief. We'll see what we'll maybe see as much as we can get through the next stop or seek reliefs and stuff.
Can you maybe explain to me what the blown contact has as consequences, since we're still here and talking maybe rules? Because
if you check out the heat, blah blah blah,
yeah,
heat
that's
and
where I
intel,
am.
down collateral damage down the bottom. So spend heat is what Will did to mark them as blown. The operator who first defined the contact immediately rolls for stress as their conscience pricks them, and the power and reach of the conspiracy is made manifest.
I don't see where is it, in which one? Collateral damage. There it is. Okay, so on blah blah blah, safe house, contact, anchor, collateral damage on. They flee. They say. Okay. To mark them as blown. Rolls for stress as their call. Oh, I forgot to roll for stress.
Which was why I was I didn't know if that was why Will was angling to you could just unblow them by shooting at them.
It was a bit of that, a bit of and you know, on a 6, your added benefit could be I wound them rather than I kill someone who's a victim as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but
no, I'm 100% down with like messy.
I'm also 100% down on rolling for stress for that, because I mean it is stressful to kill somebody called for help, right?
Yeah.
So I will do that, and we'll see how that goes. No, I'm not stressed out by that though.
Dylan's stone cold off.
Oh wow! Now
Yeah.
you know Konstantyn stumbles from the train and sees this happen, and is now wondering, why is Dylan the person I care most about? I thought this person was coming to rescue us. That was what what have you done?
Konstantyn's having a dark night of the
soul. He's having a bad day.
Yeah, and it's just your imagination, Konstantyn, but doesn't it feel like there's someone right behind you all the time now? Like just a little bit, you know?
Just every time and sometimes I look down and I see, is that my shadow?
is it delayed? You know, weird. Yeah. Okay. So
I must have taken a knock on the head when Longshaw put me on the ground.
I will bring the train fiasco disaster thing. Massive success, really, in operational
I was
terms.
going to say, yeah, it was
Yeah, yeah.
messy but successful, I think.
Yeah. No one grabbed anything from the SBA carriage, which was
We grabbed them. We
you grabbed the
grabbed
matrix. So you
the
got
matrix,
yeah.
so-
There's definitely stuff to do. Yeah.
and we grabbed Dave.
You did grab Dave as well. Yes, there is a prisoner to interrogate.
There is.
Yeah. Who will I have to remember to be clear about leads in this game as opposed to say like NBA where you'd obfuscate everything, you know? So like what you would get out of Dave will be enough to build bigger pictures than in other games I would be like, no, you'd have to sketch out the whole conspiracy map to find out what this idiot Dave knows about things. But yeah. Because yeah, they don't tell Dave much. I'm going to level with you on that.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
yeah.
so what Dave knows is what Dave knows. He can
Yeah,
only
yeah.
tell us what you think fictionally he could tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah. But to give you some actionable stuff, whereas in another game that might be the game itself, right? Is the investigation into it. But yeah,
Is there a way of turning him?
I
Yes,
was
there is.
just thinking about that.
There is totally that, which we will do
Heated intel.
in the debrief.
Or turning him into a contact, or you know,
Yeah, we need I need a new contact now.
yeah,
I need an
basically
internal-
getting him out of that line of work and maybe getting him on side with us.
You
Because
just give him the keys to the truck when you go, Dave, here's your new life.
Yeah, you're now a smuggler. No, there are debrief, heated intel, column PQRS, row 1, fate of a prisoner.
Okay, so should we take another 5-minute break? Hopefully Donna will be back by then. 10 to.
I'm just going to say one thing to you.
Pause.
Pause looks like this.
Yes.
Stop looks like this.
But to Alan, I don't see those because my screen is not big enough to display the full icon. So all I see is a line of text that I just hit quickly.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So
Maybe
yes.
try doing it very slowly.
Yes, which is what I'm doing now, as opposed to what I did every other time. Yeah. So the Matrix Dave, the hapless Watchtower consultancy guy who's fallen in love with Mira and believes Dylan to be a conspiracy handler, and is not particularly deep in with the conspiracy. So at most, he probably believes that he's part of some sort of vampire hunting group. He just takes the jobs, he just does the jobs, and he thinks that all of this is for a greater good, ultimately. But he will know some operational stuff just from his contact. Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's up to you how much you bring him in. That can depend on how the debrief goes. But you have all made it away on the truck with your dead smuggler contact, which will then blow. So for the, until someone refreshes the blown smuggler contact, nobody can call on a smuggler for the rest of the missions. I understand correctly. That doesn't go away at the end of a session, because no smuggler wants to work with whoever's associated with, the group who got that happened. Interrogation is pre-debrief.
It should be the last scene of the operation unless you throw anything else at it.
No. Well, I mean, I have so much heat and so many things. I was like, the assaults thing, is a helicopter going to show up out of nowhere and start hunting you down across the steps? And I thought, I need to get this to an end at some point. So I'm just going to try and find the interrogation page on the guide. Interrogation scenes, page 82. So any prisoners taken during an operation can be interrogated. We have an interrogation scene for each prisoner. Each operator present at the interrogation describes their approach and rolls to investigate to find out what the prisoner knows. And this can be made, you've rolled technical and gadgets, so I'm going to say that you have access to whatever sort of medical equipment or whatever you might need to do with the matrix as well. And you can roll investigate sort of, in multiple ways. Like, don't think of it as it just has to be an interrogation. It can be interrogating the accumulated intel of whatever you've got here, essentially, right? And so let us start with Yelena, you have the Matrix, you have Dave. I mean, are you guys going back to a safe house? I almost don't want to declare a safe house now because I feel like it's so, describe where you are and how you'd want it to be when it comes to talking to them. We don't have to get into the wider kind of like geography of it all, you say whatever you want to say you have.
We're out in the middle of the steppes near a rail line in Mongolia, right?
But you have driven away.
Yeah, we've driven away, but I think, maybe 2 or 3 hours down a dirt road, we have pulled up on this small, abused or disused airstrip with a hangar, a small hangar, which is probably more like a barn, and that's where our safe house is right now.
Nice. And would you like to? Do you have a particular one in mind? Because otherwise, I might jump to Mia to see how she.
Yeah, I mean, I would think Mia and Dylan are the best people to talk to Dave.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I'll let them go first, and then we can fill in some gaps with the Matrix.
Okay. Mia, Carol, Dylan, you both told Dave some very convincing lies. Now, how long do you want to keep that up for?
That's
in terms of the interrogation and stuff,
The thing that I wanted to ask Dylan is whether I should keep up my cover identity, such as it is, or should I drop it and, clue the dude in?
If you spend an intel right now, you can provide fictional cover for the prisoner's reinsertion into the conspiracy as a mole, and that is enough to get Dave on, Dave on board with whatever you're about to suggest or whatever you want to do. So I just wanted to let you know mechanically, you don't have to make a roll here or anything, just have to spend an intel.
Yeah, I think let's see where this goes. So fictionally, we'll just maybe you talk to him and see how far this has to go. But I don't think we should have him think you're a bystander. We can't let him think that you were with me on this. But I think it's better if he knows that the guys he was working with were shady. I mean, we're also shady, but we're the good kind of shady, I guess.
I mean, given that you can just spend the intel to turn him into a willing accomplice, who will tell you everything, I'm not sure what the benefit is in keeping a fiction up, narratively speaking.
Gotcha.
And I'm also finding it, I'm not sure when I would draw the line of Dave being like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? So yeah. Do you want to spend that intel? And Dave's gonna, oh my God, I never knew they were using those things on people, good people.
I'll just look over at Dylan. It's like, you see, he's not a bad guy.
I thought we hunted those things.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But hey, at least a lot of stuff makes a little bit more sense now, doesn't it?
And he looks just speechless at the idea that anything could possibly make sense.
I mean, think about it, like all the weird stuff that you saw, and you just kind of your brain came up with some kind of explanation. Now you have all the details. So, it's like, oh, wait a minute. My brain actually just kind of pretended things were okay.
I mean, I just thought there was some sort of mad science experiment, but you're telling me they're vampires? What the hell?
I mean, they're vampires doing mad science experiments. So that is true, but you just didn't have all of it.
What do you want to find out from Dave? What are the questions you want to ask here? So in the interrogation, you make rolls to investigate to find out what the prisoner knows, and you can, take it for granted that you've got his trust and everything. He will tell you everything. This is, but Dave's dumb. Well, Dave's not a high level conspiracy member,
Yeah.
So your investigate is more about what you'll ask him, and he'll tell you, and then you might be able to find out more from that information, you know? So like, you ask me a question and then roll the dice and we'll see how much you get out of it.
So quick mechanical question. Sabine, do you want to spend the point of intel to turn Dave into an asset, or do you want me to spend it?
I don't much care. I think it would make more sense fictional if you did it. Just
Okay.
if that's cool. But I think I have a lot of intel.
You
so-
have like, you're almost maxed on intel,
Yeah,
which is
I know,
why
I
I was
know.
asking.
Yeah, I can spend the point of intel. So
Okay.
and I will. Okay. Dave, I'll put my hands on his shoulders and I say, Dave, I have a feeling at heart, you're a good guy. You want to be on the right side of this, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, good to hear. Because we're working against this conspiracy. We have been for a while now. And we can always use people.
Fighting against the vampiric conspiracy.
Mhm.
Well, title drop. I'll join you. So yeah, Dave's
And
in.
apparently zombies now too.
And I
So
shake his hand, like a manly handshake.
Nice. Dave, the operator, to return in the next session of Against the Vampiric Conspiracy. But yeah, so he's recruited. Dylan, is there a question you would like to ask him?
Yeah, there is a question actually. I would like to know what he knows about the, let's say, where the conspiracy, where he knows that the conspiracy operates. Where has he been? What places has he traveled from? Where is High Tower, Watchtower, Thingy Tower active?
If you'd like to roll me maybe
trade.
tradecraft, because
Yeah, sure.
because it'll help make sense of some of the stuff that he tells you about, you know.
Yeah, that's good. So I roll with expertise, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll add stress at this point because this is not too stressy. It's a 4. It's not great, but it's a 4.
So 4. So
Mhm.
there are no complications to that. And Dave tells you that well, we deliver these those things all across the world. It's usually through HGD shipping. I haven't done too many of them myself, but the main site we pick them up from is someplace. Well, I've never been there myself, but they call it Carfax.
And that, you read Dracula, right?
I mean, I saw the movie.
Carfax Abbey means to you.
And he goes, you gotta be shitting me, Dracula.
I think he's dead though.
Mind blown again. Dave just stares off into the distance. So yeah, that's where, no, in fact, Dave says that's where they pick up, that's where they get the serum from. He doesn't know where the coffins come from. He just knows that they are transported from various sites to various sites. The things that you'll get from that is Carfax on a 4. Yeah, 1 lead, I think, on a success rather than an extra benefit, and then that'd be 2 successes. So just playing a game of how much to reveal and wondering where to draw the line. So that's what Dylan has got. Puckett, I'm going to come back to you for your question, just because of, you know, spotlight sharing and everything.
Sure, of course.
And then we'll go to Yelena. Do you have anything? I just want to offer you a second choice because you deferred.
Yeah, maybe we can talk to the Matrix. I mean, I am not really recalling how much we knew about the kind of the way that they had been recruited, but maybe we could fill in some details on like who was responsible and so on.
Exactly, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you don't know very much about them other than that they didn't seem to be, you know, active men. They seem to be innocents, kind of doing a job, sort of thing.
Yeah. So
Possibly
it's
something bigger.
yeah. So it's kind of kind of teasing out details of how they were first contacted and who they met, and like phone numbers, which are probably disconnected now, but kind of build up as much of a trail.
I'll tell you, well, we were desperate. We owed so much money to the wrong people, and they offered us this. They said it would be for something good, and no questions. We saw her on that train.
Well, you got lucky. Not many people like you see what we saw on the train and walk away.
And she crosses herself. And yeah, would you like to roll the tradecraft here?
Yeah, let's see what the dice say to me. Probably not today, Donna. Oh, I'm surprised. After I called them out, they give me a 6.
A 6. Nice.
Yeah.
So you roll intel. I mean, you mark intel. And let me just double check the exact wording of this one. You get the minimum need to proceed, which I think is that they were in desperate measures, having borrowed lots of money to try and track down a missing member of their family, hiring private investigators and everything, and they borrowed lots of money. They are Romanian, not Polish, but they borrowed lots of money from the Rusari local criminals, and they owed them money badly, and that's when the caseworker at the charity they work with helped the children, told them that he knew of a way that they could make a lot of money if they just took a train. So what you have there is that the Rusari, a Romanian criminal group, essentially targeted these two, and the charity worker helped the children, which you already know to be linked to the conspiracy in some way.
Yeah.
Basically gave them this scheme on how they could make them things back. But you also get 2 extra questions, and you can float anything by me that you want to declare as a detail about any of this.
I wonder, maybe, I wonder if the caseworker dropped a name, right? Someone who they might want to talk about the procedure, or like the charity or something like that. Someone that they would have name dropped or put them in contact with in order to convince them that this was, a good deal to take.
Dr. Chang. He's a professional. He Zoom called them. But he's accredited and he's so famous and so good looking. GSV Technologies. They're working really well. They've got a deal going through the EU any day now. Does that work?
Yeah. It's getting up the ladder, I suppose. No, second question. Anyone?
Well, because you asked a question about the sciencey side of it, and you already know like a public, the person who would talk to them is a sciencey kind of. But Dr. Chang is certainly still an active member of the conspiracy. In fact, he may have a promotion, and I think if you looked him up, you'll see that he has been promoted after the not mysterious disappearance, but the golden handshake of his superior from GSV Technologies. And if someone was to keep track of, I think his name was Oscar, right? You may notice that he disappears off his yacht in a few weeks' time.
For the crime of looking too similar to Dylan.
Yes. And you have another question? Is there anything else, or would you like to hold it for?
Maybe I'll hold it, but if someone else has a bright idea,
Well,
I'll
let's hold it for now, and anyone wants to suggest it, they can put it in the chat. And when I come back to you can ask it if it's not covered already.
Yeah.
Konstantyn.
I want to see if I can smell the darkness on them. What I'm interested in is do people either with the serum or the serum components that are traveling, you know, the compound A and compound B in their systems. I want to know if I can sense it.
Okay.
So I'd like to investigate using law, please.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't use law at the moment, but given other people are spending intel, I think I'll spend. I only ever have one intel, so I will spend.
Welcome
intel.
to my last 3 games. I think
Exactly.
is Jimmy Rook. You know,
Exactly.
never had more than 1 intel.
So I will. I've spent that intel to get my expertise back, and I'll roll without stress.
Okay.
Oh, thank God, it moved late. That's a 5. I really don't want to see a 6 at the minute. So yeah, 5. So my simple question is, will in future I be able to roll to investigate using law to identify someone, you know, in a scene who is either high on the serum or is a carrier?
Definitely.
Thank you.
100%. It takes, you know, like when the matrix stand right next to each other, you can almost, you know, but the further apart they go, the fainter they get.
Fine.
Until they're almost invisible when they're apart from you. But somebody who had the complete version of the Seward serum would be visible. You know, you would feel their presence if you reached out. And you know that sensation, it's almost like those eyes that are burning into the back of your head.
Thank you.
Look away.
Thank you.
Well, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just about to, maybe, given that we're talking to the same person, you know, I think I will take out that vial that I took from undercover operator whose name I have forgotten.
Marty, I think.
So I don't know if this is, maybe it'd be useful to do some science the shit out of this, or maybe I'll just keep it in the back pocket for case of emergency.
Well, you have the components of the Seward serum here. I just want to label that out to you, and I would say that's a roll at some point, either here or probably here, actually, to be honest, if you wanted to do create.
And you said we had medical and technical stuff. That, I mean, given that we're exceptionally well prepared, could that extend to the kind of dialysis setup that would be needed to extract?
I mean, this smuggler was carrying exactly what you thought you needed in the back, you know, in these long boxes, right?
So Mia could use her technical expertise to set up a dialysis unit in a barn in Mongolia.
Pretty much.
I mean, maybe this isn't the question we want to ask, but like, how many doses of serum do you get out of 2 mules, right?
I think that the conspiracy would get a lot. I think that you guys are going to be using a very inefficient method. But I'm not going to keep track of the doses of Seward serum. What this is going to mean is that Seward serum is now on the list of things that you can declare in your inventory under a light spend. And I will keep a track of how much you're using it. And if it seems to be a ridiculous, you know, it's like bullets, right? Like they don't run out until you've just said that I spray 3 rooms down. And you're like, well, how much bullets were you carrying, Rambo?
Bullets run out when you're finally face to face with your nemesis and you both have your guns in each other's faces, and then you pull the trigger.
Yeah, so guess when the Seward serum's going to run out. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to spend your question perhaps to have that, no, you can spend your question on something else. Don't worry, that's a Mia thing. Don't worry about it. But yeah. So, but Donna, you do need to roll for stress. I remember now.
I do. I guess I will have to follow tradition and burn that lone intel I seem to be passing between my stress and my intel boxes. Yeah.
It is a resource management game. It has to be.
Yeah. But when I don't roll very many 6s, it's a very tight resource management game. So let me roll stress. Oh, okay, I rolled low. I'm not the ratchet pauses for a moment.
Nice. Well, that was just, I think, the stress of this whole, and I know that Yelena is a very cold person, right? But I think maybe the desperation of these people and what they were sucked into is what, even that cracks for a little bit. But of course, Yelena being Yelena. Meh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wonder, I mean, maybe I'm hugging a little bit, or maybe going off piece a little bit, but given the last time I had decided that the stress for Yelena manifested as signs of her ADH bloodline, slowing metabolism, etc. I wonder if Konstantyn's darkness radar is kind of getting a little bit of signal from her.
The tiniest whisper. And when she's holding up the serum and she's standing next to the matrix, like it's like a heartbeat that echoes, you know, and you can just see the last trace of it, just the tiniest trace of it in Yelena for a split second. And okay, so now over to Mia.
I'm just gonna pull up a chair, like sit there, you know, arms resting over the back of it, facing Dave, and say, "So, Longshore, tell me about him."
I mean, he's a real good guy, you know. I mean, he's a tough boss, but I don't know. I got out of the service, and well, he offered me a job. You know, he served with my old sergeant. And money's been good, and then after a while working for Watchtower, they took some losses not so long ago, and yeah, I got bumped up to their fleet team, and I've just been doing this.
What else can you tell me about him? Where he goes, what he does, hobbies, where he lives.
Would you like to? How are you going to follow up on that information that he gives you?
I don't know. Maybe Longshore can be turned. Maybe Longshore's too deeply embedded, but Longshore's up the food chain from him.
Yeah, no, I meant more in terms of your investigation role, not just because. So, like,
Yes.
if you
Okay.
want to, so you roll to ask, you know, to find out how much information you get out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, because you've got research, technical, digital intrusion, if you want to try and bring any of those skills to bear in like how you pick up the information that Dave gives you, and Dave can give you like Longshore, you know, maybe he comes from Brooklyn, or you know, like little things
Yeah.
that he's learned about it that then you can take
And
somewhere
turn into a
else.
digital profile, you know,
Exactly, yeah.
coming through databases. So yeah, I've got my, you know, like at some point I'll like flip the chair around so I'm actually sitting in it properly and set the laptop up and start typing away as he's talking to build up the profile, to find out to figure out what databases I need to hit and so forth. So that should bring my expertise into it, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. What the hell? I'm at 3 stress. I might as well roll for stress, right? I'm losing money if I don't.
Yeah. That's a good question, Donna.
That's a 6 on the stress die.
That's a 6 on the stress die. So
Add intel,
add intel.
stress.
Well, yeah, add stress, yeah. And yeah, who knows, Alan? We'll find out, right? So on that, you get the basics that you need, which is that Longshore is, you know, he's a private military contractor. Watchtower Consultancy is pretty much his baby. You know, he's like a hands-on sort of guy.
So he's the manager, or is he the owner as well?
He's the owner as well, the principal. You know, he's one of those guys who got out of the service and started his own security consultancy, and it's just expanded over time.
I mean, we used to call them mercenaries, but sure.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, mercenaries. He's totally a mercenary. He's 100% a mercenary. A mercenary who has done work with. If you read between the what you can get from the OSINT research on him.
Mhm.
That he has done work with the Brits, with the Americans in various theaters, and has relatively recently dropped off the radar in terms of that kind of work, the military, the defense sector consultancy work. And yeah, I think that's the basics, to be honest, about it.
Okay.
What do you want to get as 2 extra questions, or you can declare? We can, wonder if there's anything you want to declare about Longshore's situation.
So let me see. I like that question that Alan posed. Is he still? Well, Alan, you said of this earth. What were you getting at there?
Well, I said, get thee gone. And they kind of just, poof.
Dave has no fucking clue no idea. No one knows. Like in terms of where's Longshore gone after Konstantyn banished him using his spooky powers. I'm not seeing a way that anyone can possibly answer that.
I think
Okay.
that's probably an investigate at the start of the next operation if we judge Longshore to be interesting enough to include.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe you send him
So-
to Dread Carcosa or something, like who knows?
So, what kind of weaknesses can Dave give us about the coffins that they're shipping?
The coffins. Well, that's an interesting question. One might have prepared a
Or
handout.
the shipping containers
such
that
a-
he probably thought they were at one point.
Someone may have been looking through something called the Hawkins Papers and picked out some handouts that may be familiar to Alan, I will admit, because Lowell dropped them out as when we played our original game. But you will find a full write-up on he will give you a security document that he stole, basically, because he was like, this is some fucked up shit. Or he had it, a scan of it tied in a secure server somewhere that you break into.
Mhm.
But it is all about the SBA deliveries. And annoyingly, I don't have that to hand, but I will give that to you in between.
Okay.
Because it turns out I've given everything from one PDF, but not from another one, into my drive, and the other one's on my other computer. But basically, the SBA containers are lead lined. They are heavy. They can be airtight. They have valves for putting blood through. They have an ingest point, and they are usually shipped from a place called, or from and to, it depends, but one of the major hubs of it is a place called HMS Prosperine. And another place is called Nightlight. No, Blacklight, sorry. And he doesn't know where those are, but they go back and forth from there. And, he says that the first time he ever saw one of those things was when he was out in Iraq, patrolling Fallujah. One of them went by on the back of a flatbed truck with some guys in suits driving it. And then later that weekend, an incredibly high profile Al-Qaeda target was taken out, torn limb from limb.
Interesting.
The SBAs are essentially a delivery mechanism for them. And they are lined in there, and he says that they mostly seem to transport them by land. He's never been on a plane with one.
Transport by land. Interesting. So just to poll the group, do we think Longshore is remotely interesting? Do we want to go after Longshore all, or do we want to follow the coffins? Or something else?
I like the idea of looking at the ship because that's where the coffins come from, right? The Prosperine.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, sure, Longshore is interesting, and I would really love to find out where in the hell Konstantyn has sent him, but we only have one session left, right? So
Yeah.
I think a Prosperine makes for a more interesting target
Okay.
for us to tackle.
Yeah, hit a boat. I mean, we've never done that.
True, we've got a train, or we got to do a boat, and I've got
We've done planes and trains and automobiles, but so far no boats.
We got 2 sessions left.
Oh, we got 2 sessions left. Yeah, well,
Okay.
I think still think that the Prosperine is the most interesting thing. We still have the Una and Gal hooking up with these guys, right? For talking about children's NGO thingy.
I mean, I'll level with you. There is no straight path. I was just throwing everything will loop back in on itself.
Yeah, but
you know?
but fictionally speaking, I think
Yeah.
it would make sense for the character. I mean, Longshore is not the one who pulls the strings.
I'll also
He's
make it
just
clear
a
to you.
middleman.
Who the fuck knows where Longshore is? Like no
So-
one knows. That's all,
He
right?
could be in Dread Carcosa, and I don't know if we're ready for that.
Yeah.
Considering I know you're going to hand us the document between sessions, but my main one more
So the
question about it
document
is
you will get is a document that details the use of it is a field manual for the
Okay.
people who use it. It does not give you huge amounts beyond practical information on what your
Such
operational
as-
procedure is with the SBA's coffins.
Okay. So does that document have anything in there about, say, tracking devices? Should one of these things happen to fall off of a truck and how to recover it?
Hey, that's the question. That's the thing that you can declare.
Okay. So in that case, in the absence of any other suggestions, I would like to declare that each of these, and you're calling them SBAs, right?
Special biological assets, I think, is the acronym that they use in the Dracula dossier. So,
Okay.
which is on the
Got it.
handout as well, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I would declare that there is a tracking mechanism in each of these, which is individualized, so you know what entity is in them, but also it gives us an opportunity to track them back.
Yeah. This can easily give you the location of the HMS Prospering.
So that is the detail I want to declare. There's
Okay.
tracking devices in these coffins.
And you won't have ongoing, like, TACnet on every second of where these coffins are
Nope.
with your access to the system, but it's enough to get you onto where the Prospering is. And in future, if you remember it and you frame it fictionally, it could be used in other situations, like I hack the local nets or whatever. When you have access to another
Sure.
conspiracy system, you could maybe use it to jump back onto this network.
Gotcha.
So cool.
Quick question. Do I need to spend intel to unmark my specialism, or does that happen automatically?
That'll
at the end
reset
of the session?
automatically at the end of the session.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think everyone's done an investigation interrogate now. Donna, do you have another question? I think
I've got a second question, but I think we might want to use that to set up the dialysis to get ourselves a stockpile of the steward serum.
let's have that then. That can be the extra the fact, and I'm not even going to have me a roll for this, although I am looking, and I may require a use of the weaponized vulnerability rules the first time you use the Seward serum to see how well it works, because it occurs to me that that's got that nice it malfunctions, it does an unintended effect and stuff like that, I think.
But
It
wouldn't that
works
be?
once.
Wouldn't that just be a thing of the harness the darkness roll, because we would have to roll for that anyway? And
but this version of Harness the Darkness doesn't have other consequences than just failing the roll. And you have to stress. Whereas this is more like weaponizing a vulnerability and trying to make your UV grenade or whatever. It might work, but then also go horribly wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah, but would still mean that we have to do 2 rolls for one.
Once
Thing,
we'll have to do
right.
once one thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
a few things where there are 2 rolls to one after the
Yeah,
other.
okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be roll to do something else with the only relevant expertise being technical. It may jam or break. It may produce a weapon that works for the entire scene, or it might work for the entire scene and more, basically. So yeah.
But I've got one good clean version, right?
You've got one good clean version. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some stuff made by an expert.
Or maybe it's just simpler to say we need to use the one I have to have a model to build a stockpile.
Yeah, that's what my inclination would be. But I was also like, if you want to just keep it declared, then that can be the one that you're like, no, I'll
Yeah,
keep
I mean,
this one, thank you.
yeah. I think it's probably easier for all of us to have to use it as a model, as a stereotype.
Yeah. So that's all done, and we now go to debrief. Correct, Alan? I think. Yeah. I'm assuming the main checks are going to be ferried to safety, I guess. Do we need to spend anything on that, actually?
We do. Because
We need to
otherwise they
spend-
just go back into the circulation and somebody begins to wonder where they are.
I think we need to spend intel, right, to
Mhm.
find a contact to take them to safety. I think I've still got lots of intel, but so does Mia. What do I have here? I have a forger, can provide you with ID and stuff. That might be useful, right? To use that,
Nice.
get them some fake IDs made and ship them off to, I don't know, South America or something,
Where they can have a fresh start.
where they can have a fresh start in the sunlight with a daiquiri in their hand.
Nice.
I mean, it's just the one daiquiri. The rest of their life they will have to figure out on their own. But I'll spring for one daiquiri for them. Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, after the first one, they have to earn the rest of the daiquiris they have to earn.
Mm.
Yeah. Well.
So we get to the debrief success. I asked the following questions. Did the team achieve the stated objective of the operation? You intercepted the seward serum? Yes. Did the team finish a supernatural? Yes. So that is 2 stress. I know I reduced 2 heat, don't I? That's it, 2 heat. But all of you reduce 1 stress now immediately. The cover-up of this incident on the Mongolian Express forces the conspiracy to lay low a bit, you know, and they seem to have lost one of their primary operators. So they go down from capture back to just alarmed, and they certainly are alarmed. And now, seek relief, I suppose. And I think though, before, maybe to help frame seek relief in ways that aren't just in the middle of the Mongolian steppes, perhaps it would be useful to do a quick check-in on where you want, because if we go with Prosperine, I think that is a maritime, you know, it's on the sea. That changes things dramatically from going at any of the other places as to where you may be on your way to, you know, like where you might be back in civilization.
Can't we just lie low in London
Go back to London,
and then work forward from there for the next stop?
wherever you want to go to.
The most heavily surveilled city in the world.
That's very true. Let's go Bogota.
Hey, we have a Mia, the most heavily surveilled city in the country. That is not a problem if you have a Mia.
That just sounds like a hobby.
Why don't we split the difference and you're back in Germany?
That's also fine. Yeah.
You know,
Any
back on the
city but
train the other way.
Cologne.
Yeah,
Any city but Cologne.
We are
please.
in generic European city that looks faintly Bavarian in the background, and
Looks
who knows?
Bavarian, so it's
Well,
Munich.
Well, I mean,
what is
but no one-
Europe's Vancouver? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you are, yeah. So you can be wherever you want to be, but you have made some sort of progress back in towards places.
I thought that was Vienna.
Yeah, it could be Vienna.
Yeah,
It could
Vienna
be
is good. Vienna is good. We can go to Vienna. I don't think it's Birmingham, no.
You're in a German restaurant in Birmingham.
I'll order Indian food, takeout if necessary. I don't want to eat German food via a British cook. I apologize.
Birmingham is a great city to order Indian food in as well. So, but in any case, seek relief from the horror opportunity. Yelena?
Yeah, I mean, I think I need to give out to Konstantin a little bit. But maybe we can just try getting drunk together. I don't know.
I am up for anything after that. But you know, China, Shanghai, then Mongolia. I am happy to follow Yelena anywhere to get drunk. I don't like her, but I know that she could get me good drink.
Yeah, make it easy to sleep as well, won't it?
It will. It will.
You need all the help you can get. You know,
At the minute, I
wielder of the
do.
dark power. Yeah, I mean, Yelena is neutral on Konstantin. You know, neither the person I care most or least about. So.
Okay. But you don't need to do that for the
yeah.
go out and get drunk move. You can just go out and get drunk. So
Yeah.
indulge a vice.
I will indulge a vice.
Okay. And Konstantin, if you want to use this as yours, then you can roll straight after Donna.
I will. And then maybe we can interact those two dice rolls.
I got a 5. It's a minor miracle.
I got a 6.
Oh.
It was really worth it. Mark reduced 2. Donna reduces 1. And you can both agree with me how this draws Conspiracy's attention to the team as I mark 2 heat for this.
Jesus, heat. Christ. There's probably an attack team in motion in Vienna already.
I mean, I like to think that this is the two of us talking about your like strange encounter with the dark power, right?
Yeah. And you know, as the way I remember it was that after the ambassador incident, you were telling me you need, you know, when your fingers on the trigger, you just got to pull it. And Dylan is saying, you know, don't relax into it, don't get carried away, you know, I'm sure it's nothing, being very reassuring, which is where my dislike comes from, most least. So you know, that's where we left the conversation last time.
Yeah. I mean, I think Yelena's point is more like, you know, you make a decision to put your finger on the trigger, and that is essentially making a decision to kill, right? So it's not that you're always killing, but you're making a decision, and you don't, you know, pussyfoot around. I guess
you made a decision, didn't you, Konstantin?
I did, and I think that's what I confide probably in drink, is that I the ambassador, you know, I didn't mean to hurt him, but I wanted to hurt Longshore, and then he was gone. I mean, it's like an uncontrollable. It's like having a genie in a bottle.
But it's not uncontrollable. You made a decision and you did it.
Yeah, but where did he go? I just said, I've had enough of this. Get away from me, and poof.
Okay, well, maybe you just need to, you know, tweak the dial on that a little bit, you know.
Go down to the range and practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Yelena. Have another drink.
Zero in your incredible magical abilities.
They don't feel it, but you know what? And I wouldn't tell anybody unless I'd had a drink. I felt great afterwards.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that.
Nice. I love it. Okay. So Konstantin and Donna have done that there. So Dylan.
Yeah, I think let me look at what I can secretly. I mean, look for guidance. I could look for guidance from Mia, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I could. I wanna. Yeah, I wanna. I think
You-
I
Or we
would.
could go to a bar.
Or we
get in
could
a
go to.
fight.
We can do both.
So
That's true.
this is also an opportunity to spend intel
Mhm.
during downtime
Yeah.
to reduce stress, reduce heat, recover an anchor, take your anchor off the target list, reassure a blown contact or the money to buy new contacts, essentially,
Mm.
and establish a new safe house too, so you can declare any gear next time.
We probably should actually do something about that contact that we
Yeah.
don't have.
So I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt and say you have to do those now. I just wanted to get that fresh. I should have said it at the start. So like,
Well, that's okay.
you feel free to do what you want, Sabine, and then we can loop back
I
around.
mean, I want to actually untarget Layla, and I will spend an intel to do that because I actually like her, and I will stay away from Cologne and Layla and everything that is anyhow connected to me. So yeah, I'll drop off the radar a little for that. And then I will, oh yeah, I need to talk to Mia about the whole Layla thing situation that I'm pretty worried that having a relationship with a person who's not actually actively putting themselves on the conspiracy thing might put her in danger because okay, Leona, she's a tough one. I've seen her kill people. She knew what she was getting up when she was getting into this. But Layla, if that had been Layla, I don't know if I could have pulled the trigger. And I really thought she was betraying us. I didn't know about the mind control thing.
So you're confiding.
Yeah.
So would you like to roll, and we'll see how
Yeah.
well this goes down overall.
Yeah, let me confide here. Come on, die, be nice to me. No, it's a 2. It's just seems fake. Because Dylan can't be actually really honest, I think. He doesn't know how to actually sound honest. It's a problem if you're lying all the time, right?
So however Mia reacts is, like Dylan's words ring hollow, essentially.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably one of those things where I'm being reassuring, and Dylan just realized that your words sound hollow to yourself.
Ooh, you're being reassuring, and Dylan recognizes someone saying what they think you want to hear, kind of thing, like almost. Oh,
but it's also the truth.
Yeah, you intend it, right? But like,
yeah.
But I don't think I can believe that actually. Not really. Because
so expertise is gone. Until stress goes up again. Mia?
So if it's okay with you, Dylan, are you okay with having that conversation in like a noisy bar?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because I'm thinking maybe the way that we're trying to get, the smugglers back on side with this is we took them out for a night of partying. And, like a really raucous bar. We've got bottle service coming over. This is when you find out that, like, for once, I take that, like, some of the bigger clothes that I wear off, like the cloak or the jacket or whatever, and you realize that I've got this tiny little Skepta tattoo.
What kind of tattoo? Sorry.
It's a tattoo that just says Skepta on it.
Okay.
And it's like just a little bit of writing. Yeah, Skepta. Okay. Exactly.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And in the meantime, so we're having this conversation. It's loud. There's people around us. They're talking. I mean, it's not like anybody's overhearing us or listening to us. But my goal tonight is to get the smugglers back on our side and to kind of restore that blown contact. So how do I go about doing that, Will? What's the
You-
procedure? What's the
You
methods here?
just need to spend an intel
And spend an intel. All right.
to reassure a blown contact.
All right. So I'll do that.
So we can untick Leona Mueller, the smuggler, but we will perhaps delete Leona. We'll cross out Leona Mueller's name to represent that
Right.
she ain't here anymore.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to try to do
and
is
just so everyone knows, your names are all still mud in the dark web because Youssef Uluwani just, it's like somebody, he was working with you and then suddenly he dumped loads of things saying, don't trust them. They killed me. They killed me. They killed me. They killed me everywhere. So yeah. So hackers are
What
off the
about,
table, but you never need them anyways.
yeah. Is there anything that I can do to reduce heat?
Yes, you can just spend Intel 1 for 1 to reduce my heat.
Hmm. I only have 3 intel.
You can establish a new safe house, reassure a blown contact, take an anchor off the conspiracy list, or reduce heat, or you can reduce stress, of course, which you can always do with it.
Is Dylan's contact on the list right now on the conspiracy's radar?
Dylan's anchor? No, she just took it off. He just took it off.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm all right with just kind of enjoying the rest of the evening.
Yeah,
And
you
like,
don't want to roll seek relief from the horror? Okay.
No, I don't want to roll for it. I just want to basically dance on tables, get hammered, make out with attractive people.
Lots of shady people. I mean, there are some attractive people. There's a lot of smugglers. It's a weird crowd.
Yeah.
They have some really good stuff, and they're very happy.
I will try to find out what that skepta means, though, because you threw that out, and I think Dylan will bite. Just, and he'll be a bit drunk, and he'll say, "Look, I don't want to pry, but look, you're the best hacker I know, so can you maybe Google me what skepta means, if it's a tattoo?"
Don't you have any tattoos that you got just because you were drunk and it seemed like a good idea at the time?
No, I have not. Nuh-uh.
You know what? That's what we should do tonight then. There's got to be a place open. Let's go.
Wait, what? Okay, I can't afford to have tattoos. Tattoos make you recognizable. And then I can be recognizable. What kind of tattoo are you thinking about? Don't say a fairy. I'll kill you.
Nah, I mean, you can get it on the inside of your lip. It won't last that long.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're slurring. Yeah, I don't get your American accent right now. Which is a polite way of saying that I didn't understand you, Puppet. I'm sorry.
Oh, and at that point, I think Mia's just going to grab Dylan. It's like, come on, you're getting a tattoo.
Mia and Dylan go get tattoos.
Dylan will be very careful about this because, yeah, that is exactly what you don't want, and it's a lot of work. A tattoo that is recognizable, so.
Well, that's why you want it on the inside of your lip where it'll wear off pretty quickly, or you get one on the bottom of your foot where it'll wear off pretty quickly.
What kind of tattoo are you thinking about?
Oh,
and also you haven't answered my question.
Oh, Skepta, grime. I look, there's times that I like hip hop. I mean, I kind of prefer Wiley, but Skepta's good. And yeah, the tattooed guy said he'd do it for like $5, so why not?
And the tattoo guy like looks up, pulls up his thing, and he's like, Skepta, goes over, puts on his his iPod, and then it just cranks up the volume. And you are now listening to the grimiest UK hip hop. Like as we fade out of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Dylan will have a tattoo though, because it's not. That's
You
not.
slip, maybe you slip some euros to the tattoo artist, and he
Yeah.
just pretends to work on
Yeah.
you while you're doing
Yeah.
it, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll do that. Then he can draw it on me with ink or something, because so Mia thinks I have it.
Yeah,
Never stop lying.
I mean,
Dylan.
you've just given me a wish for next time, but I don't. That's
Well, I think I just want to take a quick moment to go around the table and say, like, I've heard HMS Prospering expressed as the next mission for so far. Any objections to that or alternatives? The other clues are all nodes all still exist to go back to,
yeah. I mean, I've put some. I've been updating some stuff in the top of Operation 3. So I've added some of the stuff today about the Help the Children funneling mules and meeting in the diary with an EU official. I suppose it depends whether we can get 2 operations done in 2 sessions or just 1, because Prospering needs to be the last one, doesn't it?
Depends.
Into the lion's den.
I mean, I'm going to let you guys. I have no idea what Prospering is beyond a place that does a thing, and
Yes.
every other detail of it is going to be defined by the operation section, right? So it could be the lion's den, or it could be Carfax, could be the lion's den, but who knows if you'll make it all the way there, right?
I mean, for me, there are 2 possibilities. I actually, shit, I've just remembered. Next week is the one I'm not here for, Will.
Oh, of course.
So I'll shut up.
I am 50-50 on next week as of today, because I've got a parent-teacher meeting.
Okay.
Which may last, who knows.
I mean, if it does, we'll see. We'll probably cancel if there's only two players, and rather than bring in a, well.
But I will gladly watch 3 hours of the Dylan and Mia show, doing something very, very sly and not very direct. So maybe.
Yeah. Has it ever been run with just 2 people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I did a GCOG one-shot with a couple of Gauntleteers, one of whom came back in a subsequent series.
Yeah. I will give 2-player a go. So we will go ahead no matter what. But Prospering as a potential for the full thing, it seems, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you lot went up after Help the Children or the EU official in search of more, because we backtracked the mules. We know Chang's at the end. We know there's a pipeline. We know Help the Children are funneling people into that pipeline. Maybe the EU way in will give you a, trace it back to Carfax or Prospering or something.
Yeah, because I hear that you're probably interested in doing the Prospering thing, and then that's fine. I mean, if that's then we'll slide in something you're not that interested in and do that.
We can do intel, gather, do prep work and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I will say, Will, is the fewer players you have, because I'm currently running this for 6 Australians as a Kickstarter reward. That takes a long time to come around the table. With 2 people, you're back and forth really quickly.
Yeah,
you get through stuff really quickly.
Yeah, I did think that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still not me, and they can draw out the bullshit for a while. So
look, Mia is always on her bullshit. She never has to you never have to get back on your bullshit if you just stay on your bullshit.
I mean, Dylan is never on any bullshit, but he's with Mia, so.
Nice. Well, we'll see how it goes, because either way we're going to have, so we can just do it at the start of the thing.
Yep.
I'll have things prepared for everything. So let us finish. I'm going to stop the recording. Wave goodbye to the internet.
Bye, internet.
Bye bye to part 2 of episode 3.